Yo, look, this is gonna be a quick video about ancient Egyptian times versus modern day times in which is better. Now, what's better and what's worse will always be an opinion because you cannot factually prove what's better than something. Because, for example, what you think is good, someone else may think is bad. What you think is fucking better, someone else may think is worse. You feel me? You can't actually prove that shit because you can't prove opinions. Anyway, you could prove facts though. A lot of people think that facts are opinions. A lot of people think that opinions are facts. But we're not going to talk about that shit right now. Let's talk about which times were better. I want to point this out. Not going to lie. Back in ancient Egyptian society, the society was a bit better. You feel me? In my opinion. Only because the laws they were governed by was more in tune with nature. You feel me? Now, what do I mean by this? They were governed by Mayat. Mayat is universal law, universal order. Mayat is the reason why the sun is in the perfect position to sustain life on the earth. You feel me? Mayat is the reason why the planets formed how they formed, the reason why galaxies formed how they formed. Mayat is the literal order of the universe, right? And the Egyptians based their laws upon Mayat. You feel me? Now, their laws were able to keep their society righteous for the most part. There wasn't as much crime as there is nowadays. However, I also gotta say this shit. Also, they did have free housing. Like everybody got free housing and free food because they realized that if somebody is starving and that they're homeless, they may fucking rob somebody. You feel me? Because they're not in the best living conditions. So they understood that shit and they tried to provide the best living conditions for everybody. Now let me say this. When it comes to spirituality, right? We know the Egyptians was fucking spiritual as a bitch. You feel me? They had fucking pyramids and shit like that. Yeah. But just because they had temples and shit, don't mean that you was going to them temples as a regular motherfucking person. See, regular society did the same shit that we fucking do nowadays. Niggas ate meat, had sex, all kinds of shit. You feel me? So that right there didn't change. And also, when it comes to the spiritual teachings, right? Most of them shits was in hieroglyphics. The shit that I know, right? In Egyptian mythology, right? The shit that I fucking know. Most of it, if not all of it, was in fucking hieroglyphics, bro. You feel me? Which meant that you had to be actually initiated into the teachings to actually understand the shit. You couldn't just walk into a temple one day and be like, yeah, you feel me? You actually had to be fucking initiated and shit like that. So, with that shit being said, right? Me right now, due to the fact that I have some of the Egyptian hold on. Hold up. Due to the fact, right, that I'm able to read the Egyptian teachings because they've been translated from hieroglyphics into English, because of that, I may be more advanced than somebody back in the day because they couldn't fucking read the shit. You feel me? So when it comes to the goal of spiritual enlightenment, shit, they don't know what the fuck was easier. Cause shit, let's be real. Back then, some of the motherfuckers was fucking practicing their whole entire life worshiping an image instead of going beyond the image. For example, the god Osiris, right, represents your human soul. Now, you start off by worshiping Osiris, right? Because you can't see your own soul. You feel me? You also with the Chuti, that's your intellect. You can't see your intellect though. You can't see a lot of these aspects of yourself. So when you have an image, right, your mind can attach to the image and then start producing some feeling towards it and start understanding it more. So first you worship the image, right? But the more and more you do that shit, right, you should be getting in tune with yourself. So if it's Osiris, right, which is your human soul, right, you should worship Osiris and start getting in tune with your soul. The more that happens, right, you go beyond the image and you become one with the divinity, aka you become one with your own soul. You feel me? You don't need to worship the image no more. You don't gotta worship that image. You do not have to worship the image. But people kept on worshiping the image. They kept on worshiping and worshiping and worshiping instead of identifying and becoming. You feel me? So even though the society was a bit more righteous and had a bit more order, you know, we can't act like everyone was just super spiritually advanced back then. Because if that was the fucking case, ancient Egypt would have never fell. The reason why it fell is because, right, you got to understand that the spiritual system, right, was governed by the ancient Egyptian priests and priestesses, right? And then the pharaoh, right, he is initiated, but he doesn't do what the priests and priestesses do. Like the pharaoh, right, uses what he has learned, right? He uses enlightenment to basically rule the entire land. However, the priests and priestesses actually make the mythology, they make the rituals and all that shit. You feel me? That's what the fuck the priests and priestesses do. Now, with that shit being said, right, as time went on, the pharaohs, the priests, the priestesses, they just started fucking degrading. They got worse and worse and worse and worse. You feel me? To the point where the whole entire fucking society just fell. Yeah. You feel me? That's why Egypt fell, because the fucking mythological system got fucking ruined, and the pharaohs got fucking ruined also. It just kept on getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Real fucking shit. You feel me? So was everybody really spiritually enlightened back then? Fuck no. Fuck no. Spiritual enlightenment was not something that everybody was just fucking experiencing, you feel me? But nowadays, shit, it's like a wave is coming back. You feel me? A little wave of spirituality is coming back inside motherfuckers' heads. And personally, for me, I know for a fact that back in 2019, you feel me, I didn't need YouTube to become spiritual. I found out for myself that, hold up, there is no God. But there is something that fucking made this shit. This shit is just not no random shit. This ain't fucking random. So, in a sense, there is a God, but it's not no Bible, motherfucker. It's some other shit. And ever since then, nigga, I've been on a fucking journey, nigga. I started talking to God. I would be like, yo, God, if you real, give me a sign. Nigga, I got my fucking signs. You feel me? I'll be like, yo, God, if you real, bro, help me fucking find this jacket that I lost like a week ago. Nigga, I found that shit the same day, nigga. And it's crazy because when I got to the house, I knew exactly where it was, because I got an image and an idea inside my head, because God is just truly consciousness and awareness. Now, consciousness is the state of possessing awareness, or the state of being aware. So technically, consciousness and awareness are the same thing. It's just that awareness is what you possess, and consciousness is the state that you're actually in. You feel me? And it is consciousness, right? The state of being aware. That is what is God. And because of that shit, the more aware I became, the more in tune I would get with myself and with my reality. Therefore, as I increased my awareness, I was able to remember what the fuck the fucking jacket was. You feel me? So it wasn't like no fucking white man just put a fucking idea inside my head. I was just increasing my own awareness as to what the fuck was going the fuck on. And because of that shit, I was able to find my goddamn jacket. You feel me? Now, with that shit being the fuck said, were ancient times better? The society, not gonna lie, they had that. Society was pretty much better, right? However, when it comes to spirituality, right, I don't think it matters what society was better. Because keep it a being with you, even though you had some real spiritual shit going on back then. You did. Not gonna lie. However, everybody was not introduced into the spiritual system. Plus, it was harder because everything was in fucking hieroglyphics. Nowadays, the hieroglyphic shit has been translated into English. So all of us could fucking study that shit and understand that shit. So we should stop trying to go back to ancient times and instead look at ancient times, see what they did right, see what they did wrong, and then implement that shit into the present day moment. You feel me? Catch you in the next video.